What if I told you huge brands like Represent, they're not relying on selling all of their products, but they actually use strategies that are targeted around certain products. In this video, I'm going to break down the hero product led $100 million Represent growth strategy. You see, this is what most brands do, right? Most brands, they're frustrated and they're just trying to copy what brands like Represent are doing. But what people don't understand is all these other brands are trying to do what Represent do, right? But what Represent are doing is they're focusing on strategy. Strategy. Now, most people simply have no idea that this strategy exists. But last year on LinkedIn, the owner of Represent, George Heaton, actually revealed the impact of this single product hero strategy and what it did to his business, right? And don't you think there's a little bit more to it than just that product being popular? Well, the product that we're talking about is this, okay? The Represent 24/7 cargo. This is actually a good product. I own these. Sounding like a bit of a fanboy right now, but this is the product we're talking about. Now, the reason why this is so powerful is because this one product changed the trajectory of Represent to a $100 million company. And it wasn't because of the product, but it was because of the strategy. Because you see, whilst most brands struggle to grow, how come certain brands just seem to break through out of nowhere? It's not by accident. It's by using specific growth strategies like the hero product strategy. Now, having a growth strategy like this, it makes it impossible not to grow. And the principle can be applied to any brand at any level. All right. Now, they didn't just create a popular product, they engineered a strategy that enabled them to drive unlimited traffic to their site through flagship product-led expansion. And in this video, I'm going to break down this exact strategy and show you the essential characteristics of a hero product and how you can actually apply it to your own brand. So instead of having to launch 50 different products like most brands do and spreading yourself thin, you can actually change the game by going all in on one product. So let's get straight into it. So the first thing that we need to cover is the product itself. Now, the reason why this product in particular has such a large impact is because of the two following things: high perceived value and huge TAM, total addressable market. Now, this 24/7 pan, it's literally called 24/7 pan. And if you look on the product page, what you have is you have this video of the pant being worn in different places. So it's called the 24/7 pant. You also can wear it for fitness, lifting, boxing, running, but also casually, right? Now, the reason why this is important is because it appeals to everybody, right? It appeals to people who go to the gym, appeals to the casual wearers, appeals to people wearing it to work if they're dressed casual, and people even going on nights out sometimes, right? Now, the reason why it's so important is because all these different groups can be targeted, right? It appeals to everybody. Because you want to look at your total addressable market like this, right? The bigger the total addressable market, the more you can scale that one product. Now, if you were selling this product, exact same product, but at the angle of just targeting gym goers, then your total addressable market is going to be much smaller. But the fact that they're doing multiple targets, it makes the total addressable market much, much bigger. So instantly they have this massive pool of customers they can target, which is pretty much everybody, to be honest. Everybody does these things, right? So it's such a large target, right? And this, I'll break down why this is important soon. Because the more people that can wear it, the more they value it also. You see, this is where the perceived value comes in. So you've got actual value of a product. The reason why a brand can sell a product for such a higher price is because they can control the perceived value through their digital assets and marketing, right? The perceived value is how much people perceive the value as. It's not how much the value is, it's how much they perceive the value as. Now, you can increase the perceived value by positioning the product in a certain way. Now, this is what Represent do, okay? Because if you're looking at a product and you're thinking, I can wear it to the gym, I can wear it when I'm running, I can wear it when I'm boxing, I can wear it casually, all of a sudden you're associating that product with being able to wear it in all these places, so you get more money's worth out of it, essentially. So the perceived value of the item is much higher than buying, let's say, just a pair of gym pants that you can only go running in, right? Or you can only wear it when it's winter, right? The 24/7 pant, the reason why it's so good is because the perceived value is high because of how much it can be worn, and the total addressable market is massive, right? And it's a simple wearable design, right? Plain colors, plain design, and this is really helping it. Now, the key ingredient is to be able to reach the mass market. But they can also only do this if they have the unit economics set up correctly. So when I'm talking about unit economics, this is what I'm referring to. So the first thing, the second characteristic that they have is a high risk profit margin. Now, the reason why I say high risk is because they can take a lot of risk with their ad spend in order to sell that product. So it's not risky them selling it, right? They can take a lot of risk because the more money you can spend on ads, right, the more sales that you can get. Okay, because the larger you start scaling ads, the more expensive it's going to get. So when we look at the product cost here, these are 3 examples of a nylon pant, a similar pant. This is not the exact same thing. This is not going to be the exact price that they're paying, but you can tell if you start looking on the market, looking at wholesalers, looking at sites for plain items, you're going to find this price being around $7 to $11, right? Whatever it is. Now, if you look at Represent's price, it's £130. Right? The reason why this is so important is because they're likely to have a 90% margin. I mean, if these guys are doing it for $7.50 for one item, I'm sure Represent are getting it even cheaper. But this is where it comes in, right? The fact that it has such a low product cost, but a high perceived value, it means that they've got 80 to 90% margin, and this allows for the mass market expansion. You've got to think, if you start advertising a product and start trying to reach a much bigger market, with the ad spend to be able to do it, you're going to be able to reach a lot of people and still be profitable. It's going to do the following things if you find a product like this. You're going to have a high CAC tolerance, meaning you can spend more to acquire each customer without losing money, right? You're going to have a strong buffer. This can mean your ads can actually underperform, but you can still make profit. The next thing is scalable growth. So it's easy to scale with paid traffic because you're not losing money in any stage. It's a much safer way to do it, right? You're going to have a faster break even, meaning that every single time you spend money on ads, you're going to be breaking even fast because of the high profit margin. So this is going to take your ad spend and liquidate straight away. So one of your biggest costs in your business, which is the ad spend, you're going to remove that financial risk, right? And you can also have a high chance of profitability in the first sale. So what a lot of brands do, they have a low margin product, they rely on sales later down the line, or they rely on upsells, whatever. This already functions without that. And this is not the only thing that they're doing. The next thing is you've got flexibility in promotions. So you can offer huge discounts on this popular product that appeals to everybody, and you can still be profitable when you do it. So this means that you can spend a huge amount of money on ads to fill your ecosystem with customers at an insanely high rate. But you see, Represent don't just stop at one sale. So when you combine these together, right, you've got high perceived value, so people think it's worth a lot of money, even if it doesn't cost much to make, right? You've got a huge pool of potential buyers, so you're not limited to how many people you can sell to or the season you can sell it, in fact. And you can scale big, sell to different audiences, and never run out of new customers. You've also got a high profit margin, so you can spend a lot of money on ads and still be profitable. So instead of pushing traffic to products with a lower margin, they can use this single product as a profitable traffic engine to bring people into their ecosystem to convert even more customers. So if I had 10 products for sale and it was all different items of clothing, well, if you have a nylon pant and then you have a jersey sweater and then you have a down-filled coat, all those 3 items are going to have different margins. So when you can find a product that appeals to the mass market and it also has the margins to be able to scale, what you can actually do is still sell all of those products, but you push the traffic through the majority of the traffic through this one product that has these characteristics, because you know that that product's got the best chance of liquidating ad spend because it's got the margin and it appeals to a much higher amount of customers. Right? It's a highly profitable, low risk and safe way of driving traffic. This is really a traffic machine. So whilst most people have 10 products and they try to sell 10 all at the same time, what brands like Represent are doing who have this hero product strategy, they're pushing the majority of their traffic through this one product because it's the less risk way. And then you're filling all of the people into your ecosystem and you're going to convert them in multiple different ways. And this is where things get really interesting. So now they have this traffic machine, and it is a traffic machine, right? They focus on the 2 following things. 1, they get buyers to spend more money. And 2, they move window shoppers down the funnel. Now, when I'm talking about window shoppers, if you are advertising to a website, 95% of those people are not going to be ready to buy. They're going to be looking at products, not wanting to buy, or maybe they don't have enough information, or maybe they've only just seen your brand for the first time. Now, your job as a marketer is to provide the information to those people to move them down the funnel. It's like a standard marketing funnel, right? You've got cold traffic, completely unaware. Then you've got warm, they've seen your brand before, and then you've got hot, they're closer to buying, right? Your job as a marketer is to provide information to move them down that funnel. Now, when you've got a product that you can go get all the awareness from, you can get a lot of cold traffic, and if you've got the retention marketing set up properly, that's where you move people down the funnel, right? And they do this using low-cost retention marketing. So if you go on the website, you're going to notice two things that they go quite heavy on. The first thing is the rewards program. This is where they incentivize people to purchase more and give them rewards based on buying behavior. This is where you could be creating loyal customers. This is where you can actually give people discounts instead of paying for paid advertising. And if you get a customer off that one product and that one paid ad, you capture their email address, put them through the rewards program, you can market to that person over and over. This is the same thing with email, right? They've got email marketing set up for the complete back-end ecosystem. So they use rewards to actually pay people to shop again rather than spend it on ads. Now, the reason why this is so powerful is because if you go pay Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg some money, even if they don't make the sale, right, you've still got to pay them. However, if you have got a remote rewards program, you're actually offering that discount, but it can only be redeemed once the purchase is made. So it's a zero-cost way of getting customers, right? A zero-risk way. And they can also give their most loyal customers more money off because they spend the most. Now, this is going to increase how much money that people spend. And this cycle is going to give them even more cash to recruit more customers. Okay. Now, with this highly profitable traffic engine, what you're going to have is still 97 to 92% of customers that will not buy, at least not right now. Now, this is where the automations start working. You see, they capture emails with a discount offer. Then they put these customers into a sequence of emails, giving them getting them more invested in the brand. This shows customers more information, then they get more invested. And this email marketing setup for a brand like Represent, it will be doing 50% of revenue, if not more, right? So absolutely massive. Now, just to think, if they didn't have this email capture, what you're going to have is around 95% of customers that come to the site from the paid advertising. And yeah, whilst it's low risk and zero risk, paid advertising because of the product that you're selling and pushing it through, okay, you've got 95% of people where you could have captured their email address, sent them emails or put them through automations over time. What you're going to find is you're going to convert a lot of those guys in the first week, a lot in the first day, and also you're going to convert a lot of those people 6 months down the line. So if they didn't have this ecosystem of back-end automation set up, what you're going to have is that full lifeline of customers, right? They're going to have a cash flow cycle where they're converting customers from 6 months ago, right? So if they didn't have that, they're not only losing out on the money they'd be getting now from the paid ad spill, but also 6 months ago they should have been getting sales, right? And the best part is that email actually will cost 95%, if not more, less than their ad spend, and it's all working on autopilot in the background. You see, this is an essential ingredient to make that ad spend even more profitable, right? And with the product that they're selling, it shouldn't even be profitable if that's all they had, right? But the fact that they've got this is where it really turns into that cash engine. And this is where it gets really interesting. So what they're also doing is they've got an unlimited profit machine, right? And it's driving hundreds of thousands in traffic to their site. Now, the next step is to get customers to buy more. Now, have you ever wondered why brands like Represent make clothes that can be all worn together? Because this increases how much customers spend, right? They push paid traffic to the front end, right? The hero products. Then all these people are offered extra products to buy, right? And they're offered in the cart and they're offered on the homepage. So these are called upsells. This is on the homepage, style with, and then this is the upsell in the cart. So you've got to think, customer comes in, he adds this product to the cart. Have you noticed, okay, all the upsells are 65, okay, but they're 70 away from free shipping, so they're £5 short. So this is not only going an extra step, but it's incentivizing an extra purchase, okay? So they've also got different items on the page. So you're going to have a percentage of customers that are also buying the hoodie, they're also buying the shirts, then they get to the cart and they're also sticking the cap on there. So you're going to have a percentage that are actually increasing how much they spend. So let's just break this down so far. You've got a product that's got a massive addressable market, wildly high profit margins, appeals to pretty much everybody, is actually a high quality product. Then what you've got is you've got the fact that you can collect their data, right? You can put them customers through automations on autopilot. That's a very low cost way. Convert all the people that are just on the edge. Collect all the customer data to be marketing towards them people in 6 months, 12 months, 24 months time, right? And then you're also able to get those people to spend a lot more money. And this is just one product this is optimized for. This is just one product, okay? This is going to incentivize triple purchasers, right? And look, this is how it looks, right? So they're bringing people in through this funnel, and then this is what the sort of emails that they're getting. Okay, products that are live. Look, this is even a little giveaway. We're picking up 5 people to refund their last order. Recap of recent releases, spring, summer, new launch, rewards program. Invite to you see, they are not sleeping on email. Look at this frequency. This is almost every day, right? This is almost every day. Insane. And this is the type of emails they're going to get. So all of a sudden, a customer might have come off that one product like they had. Maybe they just weren't ready to purchase, or maybe they didn't really like the product. But now you've got all these more opportunities for customers to buy, and they don't pay a lot of money for this. They pay next to nothing to send these emails out. This is how powerful it is. And they will have hundreds of thousands of people going through. Okay? So this is what's going on, right? This is what you can do to replicate it for yourself. You've got to look at your products like the different entities, because they are, right? Because this sneaker here, this has not got a large total addressable market, right? Even though a lot of people wear white trainers, this is going to be a much smaller group of customers than this. And the margin is not going to be the same, right? Because when I look at an all-white trainer, well, I can't wear that 24/7. This I can, okay? This I can wear 24/7, right? Same with the cotton jersey hoodie. Plain hoodie, yeah, but you can get hoodies everywhere. It's not really got a USP around it. I'm not going to buy a hoodie in summer. So this does not fit in characteristics. The t-shirt, well, I don't really like oversized t-shirt. Do you understand what I'm saying? So instead of trying to push the ad budget around all of these, why not just focus the majority of the ad budget here through this one product, liquidate the ad spend straight away, and then market to these other products, still, but on the back end, right? And you do this through automations. And this is the power of the hero product strategy. And look, all brands do this. I was speaking to Ben, the owner of Mercia, right? And he told me his full entire brand blew up off this one item. Now, he actually told me a funny story. This logo used to be a little bit different. It used to look like a bit of a PSG logo. And he ended up going through a bit of a lawsuit, so he had to change it a little bit. But his brand blew up off of this one product. Same with your Layer World. If you follow these guys, this is their version of that product, right? Same Monterex. They created this product. This is what went viral, and this is what they built the massive brand off of. Because this hero product strategy, this can change everything in e-commerce once you find it. So just imagine having one product so dialed in, so in demand, that it becomes the driving engine that pushes your entire business forward. That is the power of a hero product strategy. And for e-commerce brands, it's often the difference between struggling and scaling. Just remember, you do not have to push every single product hard. You can focus the majority of your time on one product when you know that it's highly profitable. And you can use this cash flow to build and scale your business, then sell lesser margin products using retention marketing. Okay? This will power the entire funnel. A hero product is a hook that pulls people in. Then you can expand their order with bundles, upsells, and cross-sells. This is going to drive up your average order value, unlock profitable lifetime value, and it's the gateway of your entire product ecosystem. This is going to completely simplify your entire business. So you don't have to focus on 50 products. You can just focus on one. And your customers are going to obsess over it. Like, it's going to create fans. This is going to be something that a lot of people are wearing because the addressable market is large, right? And it's going to be what people post about. It's going to create word of mouth and organic momentum that money cannot buy. So look, if you're trying to really blow up your ecom brand, well, you don't have to use 50 products. You don't have to be a $100 million brand. What you want to be looking for is a product with all these characteristics, and you want to try and follow a strategy such as this. And when you do that, your business might just change forever. New video coming up here. Take a look.